After years of silence, Jichangwook finally confesses his feelings to Nam Ji Hyun. The world has waited. Fans have whispered. And now, after years of silence, distance, and unanswered rumors, Jichangwook has finally broken his silence, and the truth he revealed about Nam Ji Hyun has left millions breathless. It wasn't an announcement made through a press release, nor a confession staged for publicity.
No.
It came quietly, raw, heartfelt, and entirely real. The story that began on set. It all began years ago, on the set of Suspicious Partner. Two actors, two worlds colliding under the bright lights of fame. To the public, it was just another drama, another romantic story brought to life through perfect performances. But those who watched closely saw something deeper. A spark that went beyond the script. The way Ji Chang-wook looked at Nam Ji Hyun, not as a co-star, but as someone he truly admired. The way she smiled back, shy but genuine, as if her heart recognized something that even words couldn't explain. Fans called it chemistry. But to those who understood, it was more than that. It was connection. The years of distance. When the drama ended, so did their on-screen romance, but not the bond that had quietly formed between them. Ji Chang-wook enlisted in the military shortly after, and though he rarely spoke of his personal life, he mentioned Nam Ji Hyun's name more than once in interviews. In one radio appearance, when asked who he missed the most from his drama days, he smiled and said softly, "There's someone who made filming feel less like work and more like home." Fans knew exactly who he meant. Nam Ji Hyun, on the other hand, stayed quiet. She continued her work, matured as an actress, and carried herself with the same quiet grace that first drew Ji Chang-wook to her. But every time his name was mentioned, that familiar, unguarded smile would return. And so, for years, the world wondered, was there ever something more? The confession. Then came the moment that changed everything. During a recent live fan meeting in Seoul, Ji Chang-wook was asked a question that caught him off guard. A fan shouted from the crowd, "Appa, do you still keep in touch with Nam Ji Hyun?" For a moment, he smiled, that same soft, knowing smile that fans hadn't seen in years. Then, after a long pause, he said quietly, "Some feelings never really go away. You just learn to live with them until you're ready to speak them out loud." The crowd fell silent. And then, after years of rumors, speculation, and unspoken emotion, he said it. "I've always had deep feelings for her. Maybe I was too afraid to say it before, but I think she always knew." The world reacts. Within minutes, the clip spread across every corner of the internet. The words Ji Chang-wook confession trended in over 10 countries. Fans cried, cheered, and flooded social media with memories of Suspicious Partner, calling it the love story that never truly ended. Comments poured in. He finally said it. After all these years, he finally said it. This isn't just fan service. This is love, quiet, patient, real love. And, even more shocking, just hours later, Nam Ji Hyun's agency released a simple statement. Nam Ji Hyun was deeply touched by Ji Chang-wook's words. The two have always shared mutual respect and warmth. We ask for understanding as they reconnect privately. Those last two words, reconnect privately, sent the internet into a frenzy. Behind closed doors. Sources close to the two actors revealed that Ji Chang-wook had reached out to Nam Ji Hyun before the fan meeting, that the confession wasn't impulsive, but something he had carried in his heart for years. A longtime staff member shared. He's mentioned her often. Not like an old friend, but like someone he never stopped caring for. The timing just had to be right. They were reportedly seen meeting quietly at a cafe in Gangnam just days after the event. No cameras, no entourage. Just two people who finally had a chance to talk after years apart. What was said that night remains private, but witnesses described the moment as warm, emotional, and real. The love that never left. In truth, maybe this was never about a shocking confession. Maybe it was about closure. Or perhaps it was about a new beginning. Because some connections are too strong to fade, even with time, distance, and silence. And now, After years of hiding behind polite smiles and unanswered interviews, Jichangwook finally said what fans always knew deep down, that his heart, through all the fame and years apart, never really forgot Nam Ji Hyun. The encounter that broke the internet. On a gray afternoon, Ji Chang-wook was seen walking along the Seine River, his usual bright smile replaced by something softer, quieter, thoughtful. He wasn't there for work. He wasn't there for an event. He was there for her. Because just hours before, Nam Ji Hyun had landed in Paris, officially for a photo shoot, but sources close to both stars confirmed it wasn't a coincidence. After years of silence, after a confession that shook the entertainment world, the two had agreed to meet, away from the noise, away from the cameras, away from everything that had once kept them apart. The meeting. It happened in a small cafe tucked between stone buildings in Montmartre, the kind of place where time seems to stop and love stories quietly begin again. She arrived first, wearing a cream-colored coat, her hair falling in loose waves, simple, elegant, timeless. He arrived moments later, his scarf wrapped tightly around his neck, his eyes scanning the room until they found hers. For a heartbeat, neither spoke. The world outside blurred. The rain, the lights, the quiet hum of the city. And then, slowly, Ji Chang-wook smiled. That same smile from years ago, the one that made millions fall in love with him. Nam Ji Hyun smiled back. A small, trembling smile. One that said everything words could not. The conversation. No one knows exactly what they said. No cameras, no reporters. Only two people and the silence that carried years of what-ifs. But one witness, a cafe staff member, later told reporters. They talked for a long time. Sometimes they laughed, sometimes they were quiet. It felt like two people remembering how to breathe again. And maybe that's all it was. Two hearts finding rhythm after years apart. At one point, Ji Chang-wook reportedly reached across the table, his hand brushing hers gently. She didn't pull away. Instead, she looked at him, eyes shining, and said softly, "You finally said it." He nodded. "I was always going to." The world reacts. When photos surfaced days later, blurry but unmistakable, the internet exploded. Jichangwook and Nam Ji Hyun reunite in Paris, trended in more than 15 countries within hours. Fans called it the love story that defied time. Some said it felt like a movie. Others said it was proof that fate, no matter how delayed, always delivers. Every photo told the same story. His gaze never leaving hers. Her smile, softer, freer, as though the weight of the years had finally lifted. What comes next? Neither Ji Chang-wook nor Nam Ji Hyun has made an official statement since that Paris reunion. But sources close to both stars hint that they've continued to stay in touch, frequently, quietly, and meaningfully. There are whispers of a new project, a drama that might reunite them on screen for the first time in years. If true, it could be one of the most anticipated pairings in modern Korean drama history. And while fans eagerly wait for confirmation, one thing is certain, their story, whether it ends in love or simply deep friendship, has already become something unforgettable. The truth behind the legend. Maybe their story isn't about fairy tales or fame. Maybe it's about timing, how love waits, how hearts endure, how silence can sometimes speak louder than words. For years, they were two stars orbiting each other in different worlds. Now, finally, they've met in the middle, under the Paris sky, where love stories don't just happen, they return. Because sometimes, the best endings aren't written in scripts. They're written in hearts that never stopped waiting. If it's meant for you, Ji Chang-wook once said, it will find you, even if it takes a lifetime. And in Paris, it finally did.